Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time, a show that speaks to global leaders and global thinkers, to people who have made their mark on the sands of time. Today I'm in conversation with Madhav Kumar Nepal, former Prime Minister of Nepal, a key leader of the Communist Party of Nepal's UML faction, and a very important leader in the ongoing political process in Nepal. Madhavji, welcome to Rajya Sabha TV.
Thank you very much.
Madhavji, I'd like to start by talking to you about the ongoing political process in Nepal. Elections were held more than 2 months ago, but you still haven't elected a prime minister. There is a big question mark on the president of Nepal. Should he step down after 6 years of being president? Should there be a new president of Nepal? What is your view?
You know that Nepal is passing through a very difficult and delicate time. So the transition period is taking too much of our time. We have been debating the issues for long. That is a problem for the Nepali politicians and the Nepali politics. There is still the debate over whether the president has to be elected or re-elected by this new Constituent Assembly or not.
So what do you think? Do you think the president should be elected or should there be a consensus candidate?
Now we have the opinion that the first CA has elected this president and vice president.
The first Constituent Assembly?
The first Constituent Assembly.
Okay.
And it has been written in the Constitution that the CA once draft and promulgate the Constitution, the president will retire, but the CA was not been able to deliver the Constitution.
All right.
And it was dissolved.
Okay, so now what should happen?
Then this, according to the provision of the Constitution, the president and vice president has to be elected by the new CA.
Okay.
But we can have some sort of understanding.
So what do you think should there be? Am I speaking to the next president of Nepal?
No. Just now, during this period, I am not so interested for the post of the president, because you know that I have still more time to play active role in Nepali politics.
I see.
That's why we have the opinion that the president and vice president has to be endorsed by this new CA.
Okay, so what does that mean? So the new CA, the new Constituent Assembly, will elect a new president and a new vice president?
If there is the understanding over all the packages.
Okay. So what is this package deal? The Nepali Congress, which won 196 seats in the 601 assembly, your party, the UML faction, the CP and UML, has won 175 seats. So no party is in a majority.
Yeah.
You are coming together as a coalition? That is understood.
We are prepared to have a coalition with the Nepali Congress.
Okay.
But the thing is, whether Nepali Congress is flexible enough, has the large heart to just take the UML into confidence.
What would you like? What do you want the Nepali Congress to do?
You know that both the party are in the same, more or less the same seat.
About 21 seats, the Nepali Congress has more.
So there is the post of the president and vice president, the speaker is there, the prime minister is there.
The prime minister is likely to be, or not likely, the prime minister is going to be Mr. Sushil Koirala, who is a major leader of the Nepali Congress. In that case, what does the UML get? What kind of a package deal do you have between the two of your parties?
If the Nepali Congress is going to get the post of the Prime Minister, the UML should get the President.
Okay.
And if the Nepali Congress is taking the post of the President, the UML should get the Prime Minister.
I see.
That is obvious.
All right.
But if the Nepali Congress insists and they convince the UML that let this President should continue for only 1 year, and after 1 year there will be the new election for the new president by this CA, not by the new parliament after the election, after the new election, then we can have some sort of understanding over other issues also.
So explain to me, this is very complicated to the average viewer in India and in the rest of South Asia. In Nepal, of course, everybody understands this. So if Sushil Koirala becomes the Prime Minister in Nepal, you're saying that a UML leader should be the president.
Yeah.
Who should it be?
No. First of all, we have to have an understanding
Okay.
that this post will be with this party
Yes.
and that post will be with another party.
All right.
First, whether we agree on that or not,
Okay. That has not been agreed yet?
not yet agreed, because they are insisting that the constitution does not allow the president and vice president to retire until the constitution is promulgated. But we have different interpretation of the constitution.
Okay.
We say that with the change of this CA, new after the advent of the new CA, this new CA must elect the president and the vice president, because if this new CA does not
So you're saying that the new CA can only elect a new president if the UML has the support of the Nepali Congress. So it has to be a package deal, basically.
package deal, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
among the portfolio of the government also,
Okay.
in the cabinet also, what portfolio Nepali Congress and what portfolio UML is going to get?
So it has been 2 months now, Excellency, and you still have not resolved all these issues. Isn't that a sad thing?
But one thing is there, you know, that there is not only UML and the Nepali Congress, there are other forces also. There was the Maoist, Unified Maoist.
Prachand and Baburam
Prachand,
Bhattara's
yeah.
Maoists.
And they were just, after the declaration of the result, they first tried to negate, not to accept the result of the Constituent Assembly. But later on, gradually
they have
took some
accepted
months.
now. They have- everybody has accepted.
But it took weeks. It took months. And that's why we have passed our time without doing anything.
But you think it's high time now that a new government should be in place in Nepal? A lot of time has been lost.
Yeah. And you know that we have already have the understanding and commitment that within 6 months of time, the constitution will be drafted, and within 1 year of time, the constitution will be promulgated. So we have to tell to the people that up to when. It means we have to just tell the people that on this particular date we are going to promulgate the constitution.
So what do you think? Are you going to take this 1 year from today? Or is it going to be 1 year after the election of the Prime Minister? Or is it 1 year after the election of the President?
I think that the first meeting of the CA
Okay.
should be the date. From that on, within 1 year, we have to promulgate.
So who should call the CA? Should Rambaran Yadav, the current president?
It is already been
Should he?
convened.
Sorry?
It is already been convened.
Okay. So
The meeting has been convened.
the meeting has been convened, but is it the current president, Rambaran Yadav, who should call the CA? Or is it the new president who should call the CA?
No, the CA has already been convened.
Okay.
It is in session also.
Alright.
There was a debate on whether the president will convene or the prime minister or the chairman of the interim government will convene that one. The debate was resolved after the chairman of the interim government has convened the Constituent Assembly meeting.
Madhavji, please hold your thought. I'm going to take a very quick break. I'm going to take a very quick break now. Please don't go away. I'll be back very soon. Welcome back. You're watching Indian Standard Time, and I'm in conversation with Madhav Kumar Nepal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal. Madhavji, you're saying that the time has come now for all the politicians of Nepal to come together and start working for the country. What are the priorities, do you think, when a UML, Nepali Congress government, which is most likely, comes into force? What are the priorities of this new government?
Not only the government, the nation's first priority is the Constitution. The Constitution must be promulgated within 1 year of time.
Okay.
People got frustrated by the work of the political parties in the last CA.
So they are losing faith in the political
Yeah.
parties.
So
And that's a very bad omen, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why in this new election, the people have rejected two other parties.
The
that is
Maoists?
Maoist party and the Madhesi parties. And has shown their confidence on the UML and the Nepali Congress. So it is the turn of the UML and the Nepali Congress to work together to get the confidence of the people, to keep the confidence of the people towards us, that we will do the work in dot time.
So they should not make the same mistakes that the Maoists made.
Yes. That's why we have to be very careful, very responsible, and must keep in mind the people's verdict.
And the Nepali Congress understands that also?
They have to understand. They will have to understand.
Okay, so what are the priorities in such a situation?
So the priorities is, first of all, we have to form the government.
Yes.
And
you have to write a new constitution.
And then write a new constitution. Okay. And then we have to hold a local election within these 2-3 months of time, because the election has not been held for the last 11 years.
I see.
So local bodies are vacant. There is no more people's representative there. So we need to have a local election in all the 3,900 villages and 58 municipalities and 75 districts. So that is the third one. The fourth one is, we have to deliver the thing to the people. We have to concentrate on the issue of economic development. The economic issues should be given priorities by the political parties. And so now, from now on, we should not only indulge in political debates over all these things. Rather, we have to give our attention towards the people's agenda, the economic agenda, the issue of employment generation, and developing the Nepalese economy.
So when you talk about employment generation and better economic, Nepal has such huge economic potential, especially you have a lot of hydroelectric potential in Nepal, where companies from India and from other parts of the world are willing to invest in Nepal. Do you think that will happen?
Yeah.
Under your government?
And yes. You know that we have the potential of developing 86,000 megawatt of electricity,
yes.
but it can go up to 100,000 megawatt of electricity.
Okay.
And we have not been able even 1,000 of megawatt of electricity to be generated by the up to now. So we have to just facilitate the process of inviting foreign investment in this sector also, and this is the key. Once we have enough of electricity, we can use it in all the development of all the sectors. And second is tourism sector.
So would you be open to inviting Indian companies to invest in the hydroelectric sector?
No, we are not only open, rather we have asked them to come there, and they are there. They have been investing there. They have been developing the hydropower, the projects there.
But you know, there was a lot of bad blood in the last few years because a lot of equipment got burnt and there were promises made. Those promises were not kept.
Especially in Karnali project, the Upper Karnali project,
yes.
that incident has been seen, and it was very bad. It was not good. So that's why we have asked the Maoist party leaders that please stop your cadres from creating this type of hooliganism there. So rather encourage the foreign investors to come there, and your behavior is discouraging foreign investors to come to Nepal. And there is not only the hydropower, there is a big scope for the tourism sector also, industry to be established there, agriculture to be modernized and commercialized there. Okay. So on all these issues, we have to ask the foreign investors. Not only that, physical infrastructure, international airport that has to be constructed there, fast track road.
The Chinese are very interested in investing in Nepal. They have already done a lot of investment in Nepal. Don't you agree?
I think Chinese are also, but in comparison to Chinese, the Indian investors, I think some Norwegians, they have some investment there.
But today, if you go to Nepal, compared to, say, 8 years ago or even 8 years ago when the Jan Andolan happened, in which you played a very important role in the democratization of Nepal, in these last 8 years, I think the Chinese have come into Nepal in a very big way.
Yes, Chinese are also showing their interest to invest in Nepal. So I think that the Nepalese market should be open and let the Indian investors come there. We will want to welcome them. Because it is economy and open economic competition can be there. So whoever want to just give us in a cheaper way, but high quality service, they are welcome.
So India and Chinese businessmen should compete.
Indian, Chinese, European and others should compete. Yes, they have to compete with each other.
Okay, so to give the best services to the Nepali citizens.
People, yeah.
And I'd like to also ask you when...
But one thing there,
sure.
That as for developing the hydropower sector, we can export our electricity to Indian market, and that's why it will be better that Indian investors come there, invest there and take the electricity to India by exporting it.
You're willing for that to happen?
Yes, it has to be done. Otherwise, how can we consume all the electricity inside the country?
But this is a very important thing you're saying, Madhavji.
Yes.
Because this is what the Bhutanese are doing with India, is that a lot of Indian money is going into Bhutan for investment in their hydroelectric sector, and Bhutan is selling electricity back to India. And you are willing to follow the Bhutanese example.
I know it is we actually, but we lagged behind.
It was your idea.
Yeah.
It was Nepal's idea.
Yeah. We have been we talked a lot about exporting electricity to India, but because of the internal, armed insurgency there in the country, we could not just move in that direction.
Madhavji, hold your thought. I'm going to take a very quick break, but I'd like to focus on this topic when we come back. I'm going to take a very quick break, but we'll be back very soon. Welcome back. You're watching Indian Standard Time, and I'm in conversation with Madhav Kumar Nepal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, and a very important key player in Nepal's ongoing political process. Madhavji, you were talking about how India and Nepal could pursue and take the economic potential in Nepal to greater heights. And you also, in this context, you talked about the China's role in Nepal. I remember when Prachand first became the president of Nepal. I'm so sorry, when he became the Prime Minister of Nepal. And his first visit was to China. How did that go down in Nepal? Because there was a lot of discomfort in India with that.
I have nothing to say about that thing. Why he preferred to go to China and what he has mentioned during that period, and that is a thing that should be explained by himself, he himself. So what I will say that we should not play between India and China. Rather, we should have a good and cordial relation with our neighbors, especially with India.
Okay. And you feel that a Prime Minister of Nepal should have, what priorities should a Prime Minister or a leadership in Nepal have with India, for example? The similarities that our two countries have with each other, our civilizational linkages.
No, there are, that we are culturally, religiously and socially been very near to each other. And India has been a friend in all the difficult times of democratic struggle. You know that at one time when we were discussing about developing our partnership on the Mahakali river development issue, we just developed one project there, that is Pancheshwar. So still the talks is going on to develop that Pancheshwar, which can generate more than 6,000 megawatts of electricity. So this time also I insisted that India and Nepal has to start that project.
So you think Prachand made a mistake by choosing China?
I will not just enter into that issue, because the thing is that what attitude we have to take towards India, that is the thing. We should not have any negative feeling or thinking regarding about India. India is a good friend. I have seen that many of the issues has been resolved through the dialogues between the political leaders. So there is nothing which cannot be resolved here.
Okay. I'd like to bring you to another aspect of India-Nepal relations, which is the role of the former king, Gyanendra. What are the people of Nepal saying about him today?
He has not still jumped into the politics, but he has some supporters there. So RPP Nepal is one of the party which seems to be encouraged by him. But he is free to join the politics, do the business, live as a prestigious citizen of Nepal.
Okay.
But he should not dream of coming back, because there is no any possibility of the turn back of the history of Nepal. So Nepal cannot be again a monarchical state.
But the fact that when there was, in the last few years, all the political parties were arguing and fighting with each other, and there was, in a sense, a political vacuum in Nepal, then the supporters of the monarchy were trying to fill that vacuum. And they were hoping that to resurrect, if not the king himself, if not the monarchy itself, but to resurrect all the trappings of such a process.
You know that everywhere the kings and the monarchy and the monarchical forces wants to come back. That's the case in Bulgaria, that's the case in Afghanistan, in other countries also. So they may be dreaming of coming back, but it's not possible. People don't see the king as a stable force there. There is the president already, there is the political parties there. Democracy has a deep root in Nepal, Nepalese society. That's why there is no need to have any other institution above the people.
And you think India understands that? Because there are a lot of people inside India who also want the king to play a greater role.
No, he cannot play the role. People don't have the trust over him. The people, after all...
You think the Indians understand that? India understands that?
They understand it, because I have known the Indian leaders. I have a long talk during the Jan Andolan period, 2006 period, with many Indian leaders, and in between also I have my talks with them, and they understand that.
Okay, because you feel that is no longer an issue in Nepali politics.
Yeah. It is no longer an issue in Nepali politics.
And that Nepal is determined to be a republic and a democratic republic at that.
And republic and democratic republic is established there. It has a firm root there, and the people like it. Though that is the universal phenomena, that people are getting frustrated with the political parties and the politics. That is one thing. That's why we have to be very sensitive towards the people's feelings and sentiments.
And so, to come back to the question that I started with, you don't want to be the president of Nepal, but you see yourself playing a continuously an active role in Nepali politics.
Now, for this period, because the people have elected me for the completion of the task of the constitution writing, so I am not interested to be the president this time.
So you would rather be the president of your own party, the chairman of your party?
I am interested to concentrate on that issue, the constitution, and making the party more strong, expanding the party among the people, taking the party to a new height.
Okay. Madhavji, thank you so much for talking to Rajya Sabha TV.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. You've been watching Mr. Madhav Kumar Nepal, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, in conversation with me. Next week, we will have yet another global leader or thinker. Till then, goodbye and good luck.